Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the college basketball Draftkings slate on Tuesday, January 19th. We got a nice big day of college basketball games. Big day of Tuesday games. I mean, we have 9 games on this slate and only a 2-game NBA slate, so it's going to be a lot of good college basketball to watch tonight. I'm really excited for it. It should be a fun time, and I'm ready to make some money off of it as well. But before I do that, if you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out, really helps me grow. I've had a lot of growth and want to continue that throughout the rest of the season. If you want to get this spreadsheet with all the projections for every single day of the rest of the season, you can hit the link in the bio for Patreon. It's only $5 a month, so be sure to check that out as well. That's really all I got to say on that, though. Let's get into the players. I know that's what all you guys want to hear about. We're going to start with DJ Stewart. This is the Duke versus Pittsburgh game. This is a game I'm not, too excited about, I guess. It does have a total of 141.5. Duke is 3-point favorites. They have an implied total of 73, and Pittsburgh has an implied team total of 70.4. This is going to be a pace game of 72.65. It's above average game, so pretty decent there. When we go look at the players, though, DJ Stewart's going to be the only guy I'm interested in from Duke. I have him projected for 35 minutes today. He's $7,000. He's a .86 point per minute guy. Usage rate of 23 and assist rate of 13.6. Just has pretty nice peripherals. He's a pretty good point guard for his team. He's had a pretty solid season, so at $7,000, I think he's worth the price. And then Ifeal Horton's way too cheap, $4,300. I gave him 34 minutes today. He may not get that many, but he does start for this team, and he's going to get up into the 30s in minutes, and at $4,300 that projects out, so really nice value. He's only a .64 guy, but he has a usage rate of 18.4 and an assist rate of 11.3. That is pretty solid, so Ifeal Horton looks pretty good. Now we're going to go on to the game of the day here. The game that I want to target from pretty much everywhere is the LSU versus Alabama game. I mean, it's becoming a common factor every single time Alabama's on the slate. We want to target them, and it's just because they play at such a high pace, and they allow so many points. So this game has an implied total of 163.5. LSU has an implied team total of 83.1. Alabama has an implied team total of 81.2. This game has the fastest pace of the day. It's 76.15. Actually, that may not be the fastest paced game of the day. No, it is. Okay. 76.15 is the fastest paced game of the day by a lot for LSU and Alabama. This is just a spot that I like to attack. Super fast paced games. It's going to be a nice pace up spot for LSU as well. It's going to be a slightly paced down spot for Bama, but both these teams play at flying paces, two of the fastest paced teams in the country. So this is going to be a spot I really want to attack. And I like the top 4 players in LSU. I like all 4 of them today. We have Javonte Smart, Trendon Watford, Darius Days, and Cam Thomas. Smart is $7,900. I have him projected for 35 minutes. He's a .85 point per minute guy, usage rate of 20.7 and an assist rate of 21. Those are pretty good peripherals, and in a fast-paced game, that's going to go pretty well. Trendon Watford, $8,100. He's 35 minutes. He's $8,100. I gave him 35 minutes. He has a 1.04 point per minute guy, usage rate of 26.5, and assist rate of 20.9, and a rebound rate of 11.7. Darius Days, I gave him 31 minutes. He's $7,700. He may be a little bit overpriced because he doesn't always play this amount of minutes. He sometimes only get into the 20s, but I like the upside there. He has a 1.05 point per minute guy, usage rate of 19.5, and a rebound rate of 17.2. And then Cam Thomas is their best player, their freshman phenom, who honestly is shocking a lot of people, including me this year. He's very, very good at basketball. I think he's going to be a steal in the draft unless he rises up draft boards, which he kind of has been all year, so we'll see what happens there. I gave him 38 minutes. He's almost a whole point per minute guy. He's a .99 guy, a usage rate of 33.4. He doesn't really have a high assist rate or rebound rate because he's pretty much just a scorer. So I do like Cam Thomas a lot. I would say probably my favorite play on this team, though, is going to be Trendon Watford. He's probably my best point per dollar guy here. If I were to rank the LSU guys, I'd probably go Watford, Thomas, Smart, Days today. But all 4 of them are really good plays, and I want to get them in my lineups. And I might as well just go talk about the Alabama side of this game as well before I move on. Herb Jones, Josh Primo, and John Petty Jr. are going to be the guys I'm interested in here. And honestly, Herb Jones and John Petty are just too cheap. They should be in the 7K range because they are playing a ton of minutes. They both have they don't have as high usage as the LSU guys, but a 24% usage rate for Herb Jones, an assist rate of 14.1 and a rebound rate of 11.4. We saw him play without the injury last week. It didn't seem to affect him that much at all. They absolutely destroyed Arkansas. This Alabama team, man, they're good. This is a good team. It's cool seeing Alabama be good. I mean, they've always had kind of the upside, but it just hasn't always panned out together. But right now they are playing great basketball. And Herb Jones is just too cheap. Same with John Petty. He's too cheap at $6,500. He has a usage rate of 18.8 and assist rate of 13.3. Great three-point shooter. If he gets hot from the field, he's going to be an optimal player because he's just not going to miss. So John Petty is definitely someone I always want in tournament lineups. And then Josh Primo at $5,700. He continues to take an extended role of Jordan Brunner being out right now. So at $5,700, I gave him 33 minutes. He's only a .67 guy. Usage rate 18.2. And at $5,700, he just projects out as a pretty nice value. I think he's just a little bit too cheap for the amount of minutes and the usage he is going to play. So this is the game I really like, Alabama LSU, and I want to target all of those guys. if I had to just probably rank them overall, because I think these are some of the best plays on the slate, I think Trendon Watford is the best play in this game. I'd probably go then Cam Thomas, and I think, no, actually, I'm going to go Herb Jones after him, then Cam Thomas, then I'm going to go Smart, then Primo, then Petty, then Darius Days. So I just think Darius Days is a little bit more risky because he doesn't always get all these minutes. He has been recently, but there are definitely games where he's only in the 20s. So if he gets into foul trouble and stuff, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Now we're going to go talk about Florida and Tennessee here. This is a game that I really like to target as well. It has an implied team total of 137.5. Florida does only have an implied team total of 65.2, but Tennessee has an implied team total of 71.6. When we go look at pace, this is going to be about an average pace game, slightly below average pace game for Florida here for this game, but it's nothing really too much to worry about in my opinion. The thing here is this game has value. So I almost said Scotty Miller. Gosh, talking about football. Scotty Lewis is out again, so he's been doing a COVID tracing, or I don't know if he tested positive, whatever, something to do with COVID. He's out, and Noah Locke has been starting in his place, and he's only $4,400, and he's playing like high minutes. I gave him 39 today. He is seeing extended run. Now, he is only a .57 guy if he used to trade 17, but at $4,400 playing in the upper 30s of minutes, I want that all day. This is going to be a competitive, it may not be a competitive game. Tennessee is really good too, and Alabama beat them, so anyway. Just got to pay attention to that. I think that this is a spot where there should be a lot more scoring, I think, than the total suggests, to be honest. And Noah Locke at $4,400 is going to play a ton of minutes. And then Tyree Appleby's kind of taking a step up in his offense ever since Scotty Lewis has been out. I gave him 37 minutes today. He's a .75 point per minute guy. Usage rate 20.6 and assist rate is 17.4. Stack grades out really well as well. So I do like both these guys in this game. And on the other side of this game, I'm just going to be interested in Tennessee's two best players. Two best players are using. I don't think they use Jaden Springer enough, to be honest, but Josiah James and John Fulkerson. James is 6,400, Fulkerson 6,800. I gave Josiah James 34 minutes. He's a .94 point per minute guy, usage rate of 15.9, and an assist rate of 16.5. John Fulkerson I gave 30 minutes to. He's a .9 guy, usage rate 20.1, and a rebound rate of 13.4. Both of them look like pretty solid options today. I wouldn't call them top tier options, but just in that mid range, I think they're good options that are probably going to be lower owned because I think a lot of people, like I said, are going to go for Alabama LSU game, and then these guys are just going to kind of fall a little bit under owned, and they're still good plays. Now we got University of South Carolina, which I think this is the first time I've actually talked about South Carolina in a video this year, going up against Missouri. We have A.J. Lawson, Justin Ncaa, I don't know how to say his name, and Wildens Leveke. I'm not even going to try on these guys, but these are the guys I'm interested in on South Carolina. This game has an implied total of 142.5. South Carolina has a 68.6 team total. Missouri has an implied team total of 74.3. This is, pretty decently high-scoring game. It's going to be a pace game of 73.35. That's a pace-up spot, so I do like that. And A.J. Lawson and Justin Ncaa have just been mostly the offense this year. They're playing a ton of minutes. We have them both 40 today. Lawson $7,500. Justin $6,400. A.J. Lawson is a 1.07 point per minute guy. Usage rate of 25.7 and an assist rate of 14.9. Justin Ncaa is a .78 point per minute guy, usage rate of 13.6, and a nice rebound rate of 13.4. And then Wildens Leveke, I gave him 31 minutes today, and he's $3,900. He's way too cheap for the amount of minutes he's going to play. .73 guy, usage rate of 16.9. I think he's probably the best cheap guy on the slate today, so I definitely like going there. And then on the Missouri side of the ball, we have Xavier Pinson, Drew Smith, and Mark Smith. Xavier Pinson is, in my opinion, the best player in this team. He is a very, very good player, and he's way too cheap, $6,000. He has a usage rate of 32.3 and an assist rate of 29.6, and he's $6,000. I gave him 31 minutes today. Yeah, it's not like the top-end minutes, but, that's such a high usage rate and high assist rate. He's just way too cheap. I think Xavier Pinson is way, way, way too cheap. I want to target that all day long. And then Drew Smith as well is really good, in my opinion, $6,300. I'd rather pay for Pinson, to be honest, but Smith's also good at .79 point per minute guy. Usage rate 19.8 and an assist rate of 18.6. And then Mark Smith's just getting minutes at $4,300. He's just way too cheap for the amount of minutes he's getting. Not the best point per minute guy, only a .58 guy, but a usage rate 19.8 and an assist. That's really, he doesn't have a high assist rate or rebound rate, as you can see right there, but he does have a high usage rate and a $4,300. That is going to be pretty well for 33 minutes. Now we got Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I'm really only interested in one player from this game. That's going to be KJ Buffin. This game has an implied team total of 132.5, and Mississippi State has an implied team total of 64.7. That's just not what I want to look for at all. It's one of the slower paced games on day two at 70.95. Just not really a spot that we love, but KJ Buffin's a little bit too cheap at $5,900. If you want to go there in this game, I gave him 37 minutes today. He's a .9 point per minute guy, usage rate of 20.4, so he's just a little bit too cheap in my opinion for the role he's playing on his team. So that's pretty much the only reason I'd want to go to him. This is not a game I want to attack from many angles. Now we got Maryland versus Michigan. Um, Daryl Morcell, Hakeem Hart, Dante Scott are going to be the guys I'm interested in on Maryland. I think this game's going to be pretty good. I mean, Maryland's been playing pretty solid recently. They started out really bad, and now they're trying to make a tournament run, so that's kind of surprising to me. Mark Turgeon's a great coach. This game has a 140.5 game total. Maryland only does have a 64.5 implied team total, but Michigan has an implied team total of 75. This game is going to have a pace of 69.7, which is pretty slow. It's not going to be a great pace game that I'd love to look towards. Daryl Morcell is $5,400. I gave him 36 minutes today. He's a 0.7 point per minute guy. Usage rate 21.5 and an assist rate 19.6. That's just way too cheap for that role that he has in that offense. I don't understand his pricing at all. He projects out as a really good value for me. Hakeem Hart, I gave 29 minutes to. Today, he is a 0.7 point per minute guy. Usage rate is 17.7 and an assist rate 12.1. That seems like a pretty solid value. And then Dante Scott's a little bit more expensive at $7,000, but he's really good. I gave him 37 minutes. He's a 0.92 point per minute guy. He does a little bit of everything. If usage rate 19.8, assist rate 13.4, and a rebound rate of 14.3. So all three of those guys look pretty good for me. Daryl Morcell, though, does look like one of the best plays on the entire slate for me. I think he's way, way, way too cheap. On the Michigan side, okay, Eli Brooks is questionable. This is a big injury for today. He missed the game on Saturday against Minnesota, and Chauncey Brown started in front of him and played a bunch of minutes. So be on the lookout for that one. If Eli Brooks is out this game, then Chauncey Brown's going to become a really good value. But if Brooks plays, I think Brooks is fine. I gave him 33 minutes today. He's $4,600. He has a usage rate of 15.7 and an assist rate of 17.6. And then Mike Smith, the transfer point guard, is $5,100. I gave him 33 minutes. He's a 0.63 point per minute guy with a usage rate of 16.3 and a high assist rate of 29.3. He just projects out as a nice value too. If he hits a few more threes than normal, he's going to be an even better play. So Michigan, those are the guys I like on that team. But the Eli Brooks injury is kind of big because Chauncey Brown becomes a pretty good value if he's out. And we're not going to know that until right before lock. I'm pretty sure Eli Brooks is going to be a good. He's going to be a game time decision. And the thing is, this isn't going to happen before lock, because lock's at 6:30 tonight because of the Purdue-Ohio State game. But this game starts at 7, so you won't have to make too many late swaps, unless you want to stack up the Ohio State-Purdue game, which I'm about to talk about. Probably isn't the best idea in the world. I guess we'll talk about that now since I'm talking about Ohio State anyway. Ohio State, man, they beat Illinois, and Illinois made it close to the end, but they dominated Illinois. Ohio State is good. They're surprisingly really good, and they're not even playing with C.J. Walker right now. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about DFS side of this. I'm not interested in the Purdue side at all today. This is really not that great of a game. It only has an implied team total of 100, or implied game total of 137, but Ohio State does have an implied team total of 70.7. They are projected to score a good bit of points. When we go look at the pace of this game, it's going to be a slow down pace game at 69.2, which honestly isn't really a great spot in my opinion. But Dwayne Washington, Justice Swing are going to be the two guys I'm interested in. Dwayne Washington is just a little bit too cheap in my opinion. I gave him 31 minutes. He's a 26.5 usage rate guy, and assist rate is 17.3, and he's a 0.76 point per minute guy. I think this guy's just really good at basketball, to be honest, and I just think he's too cheap. And then Justice Swing at 6,100 projects out as a nice little play, nice little value. I gave him 34 minutes. He's a 0.79 point per minute guy, usage rate 22.1, and assist rate 15.7, and a rebound rate of 11.5. Now let's go talk about Illinois and Penn State. This game, Illinois, they've been struggling, but they should beat Penn State today. This game has an implied total of 151.5, and Illinois has an implied team total of 79.5, with Penn State having an implied team total of 70.7. When you go look at the pace of this game, it's going to be one of the highest paced games of the day. In fact, I believe it's the second fastest paced game of the day at 73.95. Yeah, it is. This is going to be the second fastest paced game of the day. So this is a game that I do like to attack, especially from the Illinois side. I'm going to like their big three players, and Trent Frazier, Ayo Dosunmu, and Kofi Cockburn today. Frazier, I gave 31 minutes to. He's only $5,000, so he's not really breaking the bank for you. Now, I would say I don't think he's underpriced, but he's always a guy that if he gets hot from the three-point line, it's going to be a really great play. He has a usage rate of 13.5 and an assist rate of 13.7. Ayo Dosunmu is, Ayo Dosunmu, he's a great player. $8,800, gave him 38 minutes. He's a 1.09 point per minute guy with a usage rate of 31.1 and an assist rate of 26.7. He's got high rates across the board. He's $8,800. And he's in a fast-paced game. So, and a fast-paced game is definitely something that Ayo Dosunmu's skill set is good for. So I could see a huge game from him today. So $8,800, I'm definitely going to pay for that. And then Kofi Cockburn, he's just, really productive when he gets the minutes. I gave him 33 today, a 1.13 point per minute guy. Usage rate 26.2. No assist rate at all because he just doesn't do that. And a rebound rate of 21.4. He's just really good, man. Really good fantasy player. And definitely going to be someone I like to target. You just got to hope he doesn't get into foul trouble because then you might not. He won't get the minutes and he may not pay off. So he's always a risky play, but the upside is massive for Kofi Cockburn. Then we got Myrion Jones at $6,600. I gave him 34 minutes. He's the best player on Penn State. He's a .86 point per minute guy. Usage rate 26.2 and assist rate 15.5. It's a pretty solid option. And then the last game we're going to talk about is Villanova's return against Seton Hall. This is a game that, I'm okay with it. I guess it's only has an implied total of 137. Villanova's definitely decided I'd rather attack. They have an implied team total of 73.5 with Seton Hall only having an implied team total of 63.5. It's going to be a slightly under average pace game, nothing too much to worry about. But the two guys I'm interested in are Colin Gillespie from Villanova and Sandru Mamakhalishvili from Seton Hall. So Gillespie, I gave 32 minutes to. He's a .8 point per minute guy with usage rate of 20.9 and an assist rate of 21.5. He's been their starting point guard for going on 3 years now. Just a really good college basketball player and someone I do like for his price. He's not too expensive, $7,300. He's probably not one of my top targets today, but if I did want to get exposure to this game, that's probably the guy I'd want to get to. And then Sandra is just really good. He's just, I gave him 35 minutes, a 1.14 point per minute guy with usage rate 28.2 and an assist rate 21.2. Those are just really good numbers. He's expensive if you want to pay for him. I don't think you need to pay for him today. I'd rather go to Kofi Coburn, Iota Sumo, or some of the other high-priced guys like Cam Thomas or Trendon Watford or something. But yeah, that's really all I got to say on the slate. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. And be sure to check out the link in the description below if you want this spreadsheet and the projections. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Be sure to watch the NBA video coming out soon. And let's make some money tonight.